remember Ryan Matthews. I think he played on the Rams for a little while. He was the quarterback for Clovis. This is when I quit. This is when I was like, you can't do sports anymore. This fool trucked me into the end zone to win like a Valley championship game or something along those lines, and the whole world saw it, at least in my mind. And I remember being just laying on my back and being like, you know what, bro, you're a pretty good singer, dog.
Welcome everybody back to another episode of Connection is Magic, and we have a super special guest in the building for you today, Stan Taylor. What's good, bro? Thank you so much for being here, man. This is such good timing because we've just leveled up the cameras and leveled up everything, and you're the first guest on the level up. So,
oh yeah, this is serious operation, bro. I'm happy to be here, dog. This is next level, bro.
You weren't expecting this, bro.
I'm proud of you, bro.
Thank you. That means so much to me. That's about the most authentic response you could ever ask for. So thank you.
Man, I see it.
Bro, we got plugged through
Don Raj, my boy.
Yo.
Shout out Don Raj, bro.
Shout out. I'm going to shout you out to every camera.
Yes, I love that guy, man.
Yeah, and he's like, yo, you basically, I think he's like, you two should know each other, something like that, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that was probably like maybe like 10 months ago or something like that. Yeah. And so things just evolve, and I know we were talking about jumping on together and doing an episode, and here we are, and I trust in the timing of it.
Yeah, man. I love that, bro. Like, my boy hit me, Don Raj, and he was just, and he'd called me. He was adamant. He was like, you need to know this cat. You need to know this guy. He's like, I follow his shit. He's in LA. You guys are like on the parallel frequencies.
Yeah.
And at a parallel time, dude. It is timing. I think we're both on our come up and our hustle. And again, like now I'm fucking inspired, bro. When I go home, it's like, all right, bro, I gotta level my shit up. You know what I mean?
Let's go.
Like, I love it, man. Because we've had a couple coffee hangs now just to catch the vibe, and I have no doubt in my mind we're gonna have an incredible conversation right now.
It's gonna be next level. Let's give a little context for the listeners. Tell them like where you grew up and shit. Because again, where we grow up shapes us, right?
Absolutely.
So where'd you grow up?
So Stan Garisosa is my actual name. My artist name is Stan Taylor. I'm from the Central Valley here in California. So it's in between like Fresno and Bakersfield, in between like LA and San Francisco. Technically the town is Visalia, California. And yeah, man, it was a beautiful upbringing, man. I have really no complaints. It was a very agricultural place, a little bit conservative, but I think in a good way. I went to a really cool, there was a really cool education program there. My father was actually the superintendent of the whole town. So he was big on arts and sports.
So could you get away with shit as a kid?
Oh my God, bro. I was giving my clean spiel. I got away with fucking everything, bro. It was awesome. No, it was just cool. I was a smart kid, and I was obviously my dad's son, but there was just a lot of perks, man. It was such a community there, man. They really cared about the kids, and my dad cared so much about education. So when I think about how I came up, I really went to an art school, man. I did, like the drama program and the choir program, because obviously I'm a singer, and an artist,
an amazing singer.
Thank you. But it was such a safe place to grow and work, and there was such a community there. We put on incredible, like I was in musical theater and we did like choir shows, and it was on some shit, bro. It was like legit. Even coming out here, like sometimes people come from small towns and they're like, I was obviously a big fish there. You come out here and you're like, fuck, I can't even compete. But no, man, I came out here and I was like, okay, I see the competition. Like I was bred pretty well for this shit. So there's a lot of good people that come out of that.
It fueled you. The competition kind of fueled you.
Oh yeah.
I've spoken to people where, true story, one of my homies came out when I was working at Interscope. And that place when you're in your 20s and you're really, really figuring shit out, like you really don't know.
Oh yeah, right? And then you're like experimenting with a lot of shit too.
Yeah, and then you're always looking at the next person like, oh, there's so much, they have it so much more figured out than I do. Like that just happens in our 20s, like really hard. I feel like that's why Gary Vaynerchuk has a whole career based on that. I feel like.
Yes.
True story.
Absolutely.
So he was there, and it was like Bone Thugs and Harmony and all these people, whoever were there, and it just made him really sad. Because he like I'd left Michigan to like make that leap and go push, and he just was figuring his shit out. And I just made a note there, like you can either let shit inspire you, or you can make it feel like it could depress you.
Yeah, and I think that's that's huge. I think it's where your state of mind is. It's your core belief in yourself. Because I think the comparison, it was always in the, like, for me at least, it's always right here, especially fucking now, because there's just so much. And then once you get through your 20s, because there was a moment where I was grinding in my early 20s and shit was just hitting. Every YouTube video I hit was getting love. Every time I went to do an open mic, they wanted to give me a residency. I was like, oh shit, I'm just the best. And then you ride that wave for a little while, and then all of a sudden they stop answering the phone calls, or you don't break, or you see someone else break, and you're like, oh shit, like. But it's the process of doing that makes you stronger. But I always had I still have this innate belief that I don't have a backup. I'm not afraid of this outcome not working out. I just am getting, as I get older, I realize it's not going to work out exactly as I planned or I visualized. I think you can manifest and visualize pretty specifically, but then at some point the shit's going to shift on you, and you got to just accept that that's your journey.
This beautiful quote that makes me think of what you just shared, which is write your purpose in pen and your plans in pencil.
Fire.
That's the one, right?
Fire, bro. Like, that's a great one, dude. Yes.
And that's kind of what you're saying. Yeah,
man. You chisel it out. There's new routes. There's shit you don't know.
You got to be adaptable.
Yeah, bro.
You know
that's
what I'm saying?
Part of the game.
And I think that's the shit that like hurts. I think in your 20s, at least for me, I feel like I was so rigid. Like it has to look this way or nothing at all. Like, and you don't realize, bro. Like, there could be something so much sweeter for you with just like a little pivot.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like
that's just childish to think that you're gonna know exactly how it's gonna work in your 20s or your teens.
Yeah,
it does work for certain people, and but that's what you see on the surface too. You never know what their plan was.
No, that's real, and but I also think just like the beauty of just age like gives you some sort of foundation and wisdom, so you can like sustain what comes your way better. I think that's true. So it's like. It's just so interesting.
And when you age so beautifully, like you're doing right now, bro. It's just like I thought you were like 24 when I met you. You're like, oh, dude. I'm like, what?
Bro, Chris right there was like, yo, what's your diet or some shit like that?
Yeah, what's your skincare routine, dog? How much water are you drinking, bro? Like, what's up, dog?
Yo, you got Pharrell on speed dial or what? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, bro. Let me get some of that secret cream, dude. Like, what do you got, bro?
That's comedy, bro. So you were getting away with all sorts of shit growing up in the town that you grew up in. And then when did you like tell me when you knew you're like I want to pursue music, like was there something else pulling at you? And I say let me back up a second. I think that there always comes this fork in the road for us often where it's like, okay, I could go do that, or I could take the leap and go do this, right? What was like the other thing that was like pulling at you before you like decided to jump and do music?
It was wild, man. I grew up completely in sports, athletics. So I was a baseball player, football player, just like I ran track. That was my shit until about freshman, sophomore year of high school. But it's, my dad was an athlete. The cool kids were athletes. And I felt like pretty athletic. I was like, man, I was getting MVP, like I was good, in middle school. And ultimately it just shifted when I got to high school because I realized your boy wasn't about to get a scholarship. Motherfuckers in the NFL are huge. Like I was like, oh, I'm not that good at this, And I saw that. I got pulled up to varsity as a freshman in high school, and these cats were murdering me, bro. And I just remember like doing double days. The Central Valley is really hot, and I was like, I loved it and it was fun. But I was like, man, I don't really see myself. And also people just started getting really big. I'm not like a small man by any means, but I saw dudes, 6'2", 6'3" as sophomores, and they're, jacked, and they're like, they're trucking me, bro. And I'm like, I remember Ryan Matthews. I think he played on the Rams for a little while. He was the quarterback for Clovis. And I got pulled up one time. This is when I quit. This is when I was like, you can't do sports anymore. This fool trucked me into the end zone to win like a Valley championship game or something along those lines. And the whole world saw it, at least in my mind. And I remember being just laying on my back and being like, you know what, bro, you're a pretty good singer, dog. Maybe you should just get up. And like, so then I made that, I realized I was really good at music. And I kind of pushed it away for a while because it wasn't as cool. I thought I was like, oh, being an athlete is cool. Yeah. But then I realized it's much cooler or at least for me it was like my luck with the ladies, my luck with just building my charisma that way was so much more fun. So it was around that time that I shifted, and it was a big moment in my time because I really shifted. I didn't because people were like, do both, but I was like, man, going to choir at 6 a.m., school all day, practice, drama, like sports practice, drama. It was a lot, and I was like, man, I just kind of want to focus on music. And it was wild because, like, in that small town, the coaches were like, what, how could you can't do, you're Stan Carrizosa, like, you got to do this. My dad was even like, man, maybe we can try to like do it both. But I told him, I was like, no, I want to pursue music. And he's like, all right, if you're going to pursue music, let's go all in. So I started going in, like, going to like choir camps and getting on different, just performance teams and like taking that shit as seriously as possible. So that was around 15, 16.
And you got a lot of love initially, you said too, right?
Absolutely.
Like,
I was just honestly in my town, one of the best at it,
Amazing.
And really good teachers around me that weren't like praising me. They were like, you can be better. Like, you got to be better, like pushing me hard. And then like making me a leader in that community. So that was what I thought was really cool, is my choir teacher, John Sorber, really shaped, and then my drama teacher, Michael Tackett, they really shaped my work ethic in that field. And they also made me a leader very young there.
Question for you.
Yeah.
So you were friends with all the athletes, right? And then
yeah.
this other thing was like a little different. Like, did you have to like lose some of your friend group and pick up like some new friend group over here? Did that happen?
Oh yeah.
Wasn't that tough though, a little bit?
It was.
Right.
I was luckily a very confident, I probably cocky at the time, just because I was a little younger, and I like I said, a lot of things were going my way at that time. So I actually always had a knack for like the nerdy kids, like the choir kids. I was like, these kids are cool as shit, bro. These guys are funny. The girls were always
slept on. They're just slept on.
They're like they're like the nerds, bro. They were funny as fuck, and they were always so cool. So like the athletes were always like kind of like assholes for the most part, and like I realized if I was sweet to everybody, I could get away with anything. So that my homies at first were like, oh, you're a little bitch, bro. You're whack, bro. You're just gonna go sing, dog. You're dancing. You're in musical theater, bro. I was like, you know how many bad girls are in musical theater, bro? They're like, all the hottest chicks are doing this, bro. The cheerleaders or whatever, bro. And I'll still vibe with them. So I also, like, at the same time, right when I quit sports, my dad was like, look, bro, I want, there's a bunch of stories, but I ended up getting on this workout regimen. So at around 17, I was like, my dad was a bodybuilder, so he started training me in his routine. So like I ended up getting jacked in high school, but I didn't play sports. So the coaches hated me. They were like, bro, what is all these muscles for? I was like, bro, they're show muscles, dog. I am strong though. But then, I could play these different characters in drama and in musical theater that at the time, musical, I don't know. It was an easy, smooth transition.
It even pops back to you like when you were making this shift though. That's super dope. I just want to say.
Yeah, man.
A lot
really
of people,
grateful for that.
They don't have that luxury, and I feel like, and some people really gotta, to go do this shit, they gotta go against their family. They gotta leave their friend group. Like, it's like can get kind of gnarly, right?
Oh, bro, I commend those people. That's I think I would have done it no matter what, just because I was that type of personality. But no, man, I had such a wild support system.
That's
my
amazing.
dad was hard on me and like really made me choose, or not choose, but just be really thoughtful about it. You know, like really thoughtful about it. And my dad doesn't like, he was like, I never want you to be a quitter. So like I started on the football team like my sophomore year. And then halfway through, I was like, I don't want to do it. And he was really like, I'm not going to let you quit. But then I was like, I got to quit because I'm going to focus on this.
Okay,
and that was tough.
This is fucking crazy, though. Because literally just having a conversation here with my boy Chris, who's got the cameras looking so nice for us right now.
Glowing.
And we talked about how, like, it's the same kind of, like, makeup and DNA that makes somebody a great athlete is the commitment, it's the discipline. You need that shit to be an entrepreneur, artist, creative, successfully. Do you agree? It's the same DNA.
Yes, bro. It's exactly. A
Yeah.
lot of the best actors are like, I feel like an athlete.
Yes.
Or best performers, because discipline is confidence, bro. There's no way around it. You can fake confidence
bar
a little
right
bit.
there.
It is. No, I just had a great conversation with one of my buddies, another artist named Ryan Ellis, and he's grinding. He's actually from my hometown, and I think he's like nominated for best new artist in the Christian music market or whatever.
Yeah.
He's killing it though. But I was calling him, and you go through ups and downs as you get older, and you have wins and losses.
We're gonna get into some of that here, Stan.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. But like I was on a low, and I was like, man, like I don't feel as confident. And he's just like, and it's that discipline. I can only fake it for so long. If I don't put the fucking work in, bro, I can't lie for too long.
So give me the bar again. Discipline is
confidence, bro. That creates confidence.
Discipline is confidence.
It is. There's no way around that. there's no way around that. You can do it for a little while, but if you don't put that actual work in on whatever you're doing, it's not going to be as good, for one, and then for two, you're bullshitting. And
That's
I
real.
think it's
That's
for
real.
what? If you love it, for what?
That's
Like,
real.
why would you not put the work in?
Oh.
Because it's tough, but you got to do it.
And so, yes, now let's talk about like when you have to draw on some of that confidence, like it's a 401k account or something like that. So when people get told no, or you get doors shut in your face, which we've all had, and everybody who's like wildly successful has had doors shut in their face, which always, that still blows my mind low key. Like, you've seen the Genius documentary with Kanye, like,
Yes,
you know what I mean? It's crazy. Like, she's like, yeah, that one chick in The Office, you remember that scene? She's like, yeah, I gotta get back to my work. Like, she just,
Yes, bro. And he was playing like a banger song. That documentary, because Kanye's got a lot. There's a lot going on with that.
I mean, right now it's odd timing for us to be, but you know.
But that documentary was like a Bible for me for a second.
Yes.
It was like, man, dude, like even this cat
Got
got slept on.
Yeah.
And like, I think sometimes the most talented people get overlooked. It's almost too much.
Break that down for me. I don't like.
I don't understand it myself, bro. Like,
hold on. So we've had Tyler, the creator's manager, on the podcast, right? And he was like, the reason why that happens, according to his opinion, is because people don't get shit that's a little bit different. If it's different, they don't get it, and it takes them a minute to catch up to it. So we were talking actually about Tyler's shit. Tyler's a great example of that, right? Like, I mean, the man's won multiple Grammys now, 10 years later. How long has he been building? But like, it's crazy. This dude with this deep, raspy voice, you know, could go on to be a successful solo artist, bro.
Yes, bro. And he kills it, bro.
Yeah.
He's just so creative, bro. To me, he's like obviously a musical artist, but he's just an artist, bro.
Yeah,
like,
all around.
And he must have.
Yeah.
I mean, from what I've seen, I think again, man, it's your personality, your demeanor, your energy will fuck up a room, bro. And I feel like he's got that. You know, it's like that's that confidence though that probably comes from some form of discipline for him for sure.
Yeah.
But some people you gotta go for it, bro. You gotta put your heart out there and just go all in. I feel like he goes in. He trusts himself.
For sure.
And that shit's not easy to do when you're like not sure.
No, I know.
You know? How you supposed to just know, you know? But
man. Yeah, one of the awarenesses I had recently too was about like when we have a new idea for something, it's just starting out, it's a little wobbly, the idea.
Oh, yeah.
So if you go share that with another person and they're not gonna like, and let's just say they inject a little bit of doubt, well, that shit's already wobbly. That shit's gonna tip over.
Oh,
Stan.
exactly, bro. Exactly.
Yeah, so
That's a hard one. I think you keep your best ideas close to you for a little while, and you tinker with them, you develop them. So, and then also when you I think something that I was doing when I was younger that I didn't realize was I knew that I could do something cool for just enough time to keep people interested, but I didn't really like the Kanye style. I didn't really shove it down people's throats. I didn't throw it in their face for too long. I was like, oh, they like it. I don't want to do too much. And that was me. That's a mechanism to not fully commit, basically.
Yeah.
So you have to fully commit and be proud of the shit that you do and run it. Like I'll post something for the longest time, you know, I'll post a song once and be like, oh, I didn't get as much love, and it's just like, bro, post that shit 1,000 times. You know how many people are scrolling and moving. It's like I had this crazy shit the other day. I was kind of searching for inspiration. So I was looking at other artists and I was looking at other things, and I remembered I was like, oh man, I started doing reels in 2015, regularly. So I go and I was trying to remember a song I had made, 5 years prior, and I go down my own feed, bro, and I look at these videos I made when I was 23, 24, 25 with Don Raj. It was actually when he was one of those cats that he made me feel like we were artists more than I was just a singer. He's like, no, let's take pictures. Let's shoot content. Let's make and it was so cool. And I went down this rabbit hole of myself, bro. And I re-inspired myself with a younger me. Yeah. That was more, I was like, damn, that shit was great back then.
Shout out Don Raj again. Yeah.
It was so cool. And it kind of it brought me back to life. It was like, bro, you were doing that, cause you go through life. I went through a heartbreak, going through different deals, distribution deals and failures within that. And, kind of just you lose steam sometimes when you're doing stuff for so long. Wow. And it not getting recognized the way you want. And it's like the homie was just saying, when you feel the most tired and you feel like you're right at the end, that's when that shit's right there.
It's that image with the people digging for diamonds.
Bro.
That,
and
right? It's right there.
Exactly,
turns the fuck around.
Exactly, bro. And that's that you can't take your foot off the gas, man.
Yeah. And because It's 100%, 100%. Because I feel like eventually when that tipping point happens, like there's still gonna be work, obviously, like you're still grinding, but it's grinding from a different place. Like one of my homies who was on the podcast, who manages like a hit songwriter, their careers both took off, and he was like, when that happened and the tipping point came for him, he goes, I was able to shed my desperate energy. I just love that as a bar, because when you're worried about paying the rent, and when it's almost like, how could you not be a little affected by that and like feel like you're grasping at shit, you know, and have, you know? So I just love that level of honesty, bro. It's like shit can get really hard and scary at times, bro.
Oh, I love that though. Shedding the desperate energy.
He goes, my desperate energy was shed. I was like, that's a fucking bar, bro. Yeah.
Because the desperation is real, especially with money, and rent.
And especially with years put in.
Yeah.
Like, how could you not? You'd have to be a sociopath or something and not
bro.
have some feelings of fuck.
Well, and fuck, right. Yeah. Well, and you know, I got to a point, I think when I was around 25 or 26, where I was doing a lot of side hustles, like bartending, serving, like you know, I had to make money, right?
Yeah.
And honestly, at those times, I was making more money than almost what I do now. But I told myself, yo, you're only gonna make money off music, and it was a choice to kind of just light the fire in me.
So meaning if I have to struggle for a period, I'm willing to struggle for a period, because
it's like, because at the end of the day, it's like, you know, those jobs weren't servicing my purpose, you know, and I learned a lot and I got what I needed from them. But, you know, when you have, you know, that desperate energy and depression and anxiety and, you know, shit's not going the way you want, and then you're working at a bar, motherfucker, I'm going to drink. And then it's just like, then you miss a whole day the next day, and that becomes a cycle. Your friends become that. You always got cash. Let's go out after work. We work so hard. It's like, no, I got to get up early and shoot and work on this music or whatever. And that was a hard transition, and still something I deal with. But now, you know, today I got to go write 2 songs and get this bread, you know what I mean? Amazing. And at least I'm doing something within that craft. So it's a hustle, bro. We're hustling.
We're hustling.
Always still hustling, but I love it.
But that shit kind of like we're having this conversation right here, right? Like this shit fills my soul, bro. I love, you know, fucking having these real ass conversations about what it's really like.
Yes.
Because not enough people, like, you know, let's be real. Like it's hard to get people to open up sometimes about that.
Oh yeah.
You know? And I think, you know, the music business particularly is a business that's built on a lot of facade and an ego and like but then it's those artists that are like real vulnerable and shit that end up breaking through. Like I just think one of the most extreme examples, even though it's a little dated right now, is like Eminem's 8 Mile, where he's like, I did grow up in a trailer park. I did, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like most vulnerable, and that was one of the most powerful moments in the whole movie, right? When he did that, probably.
Yes.
So we're attracted to that shit, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah. Honesty, man. Honesty is chill, bro. Vulnerability is chill. Like people can relate to it the most.
For sure. But it does take courage in an arena where that's not the norm. It takes some balls and some courage to be able to do that. But it's also what everybody's thirsty to hear too.
It's,
so
it's such a weird,
bro.
The whole weird. Society's got it all twisted in some ways. It's just like, man, like, something I always thought was funny was working with different managers or you know, producers, like, be authentic. Okay, like when you don't know, when you're in your early 20s, when you don't know what that means, like, or how to like facilitate that within yourself. It's really just fucking letting go, bro, and like not being anything, like you just being yourself, kind of just loving yourself, which is difficult at times. I recently was hanging out with a friend, and I was like I walked into her bathroom or whatever, and she has a little picture of herself as a baby right there. And I was just like, why do you have this baby picture right here? And she's like, every morning when I wake up and I like start going through all these like negative, like you're a piece of shit, whatever thoughts that we go through sometimes, especially as artists. She's like, I look at this little version of me. That's me still. You're still that. You know what I mean? So I did it. Now I do it. So now when I wake up and there's negative thoughts or anything that's just like got me not feeling like I can be myself, or I have to put up a guard, or I'm jaded, or all the shit that I beat myself up for, that's just me growing up, bro. Like, you're this sweet, innocent thing trying to figure shit out, and it's fucking okay, bro. Just be yourself. Like, that's it.
That's a podcast clip right there. I'm just going to go right here to say that, bro. That's doing at least 28,000 on TikTok right there, bro.
It's a real thing. I don't know where she got it from, but I love that, man. And I love finding those tricks in life, because you got to pull yourself out of this fucking whirlwind of competition,
that's
and
so
scrolling
real.
and shit. It's a lot.
So real. Man,
You're just a little person, man, that grew up.
that's
and,
beautiful.
You know,
That's beautiful.
be nice to yourself, bro. Be nice to yourself first, and then you can like be nice
Yeah.
to other people. Because like,
Yeah.
everything exudes out, bro. When I'm mean to myself or I'm negative, like I don't want to fucking be around people, bro.
That's what
Because
I'm
I'm
saying.
shitty energy.
I mean, yeah, another, you know, I'm a quote guy. Another quote is like, you know, people aren't giving you a hard time. People are having a hard time. You know, it's
Yeah.
like, that's really what it is.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it is.
That's absolutely what it is.
Yeah.
Everything's pretty much
So-
on everyone else, man.
Yeah. Yeah. One real example I'll share, and then like you share one real example.
Absolutely.
So like, been building this podcast for a minute, super grind all the time for it. And then got the first like national press. Like, I don't know, did I tell you this? Like,
I'm not sure.
yeah, a couple months ago, like Dre's lawyer was on in this room and talked about how when he was at Disney, like the head of Disney wanted him to sign Dr. Dre to Disney, which was like a trip. That shit
wow.
that shit went Hypebeast, Complex, New York Post, like
nice.
everywhere. I was like, dude, that was a big moment because I've been out here like working so hard. But then there's the next day. So there's the excitement where you notice, like, I'm talking about Source, Revolt. I'm just like, damn, people keep just grabbing this story,
Yes.
you know?
Yes,
and
bro,
then,
fuck yeah.
but that was fire. Did I not share that with you?
I didn't know
Yeah,
that. That's
bro,
rad.
Yahoo. Like, it kept on. And I had friends, like, my friends were geeking, bro.
Fuck
they're
yeah,
like,
bro.
This is amazing because, you know,
They see it.
They've
You finally
seen it from
see-
day one, bro. And they're like, wow.
You got one, bro.
But check it out. Then there's the next day. And the day after that, I'm like,
welcome
okay.
back, bro.
I know.
Yeah.
Now, like, okay, I feel like we're kind of starting over again. Shit.
But no, that's the world. That's the
You
universe
know.
co-signing you, bro. You got the cosign. You got one. And you
That's
got it. You
the
got it with the scissors
universe.
shit too,
Yeah,
bro. Like these little moments
yeah.
are real, bro. You're in
I love
it.
that. It's like
Yeah.
little reminders from the universe that you're on the right path. You're
Yeah.
doing the right shit.
It's so easy to look
Yeah.
at all the shit that's not working. Like that's the universe showing you right there. You got it, bro. You're good. Just fucking look at. Just hold on to that moment. Use that later.
It's just on some chop wood, carry water shit. Have you heard that before?
Nah, what's that about?
Chop wood, carry water. It's just like, just keep wash, rinse, repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat. It's
Yeah.
like it'll come eventually where it's like, I just call it like a tipping point, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're familiar with that phrase, right?
Absolutely.
Tipping point.
Tipping
It's
point.
like, and then hopefully some of that anxious, desperate energy, because you're just trying to. It's like Catch Me If You Can, that movie.
Yes.
Another moment like that where he's like the two mice fell into the bucket of milk and one drowned in the milk and one kind of like flapped its
Turned
legs
it-
so hard,
turned
turned
it
it into
into-
butter and
yeah.
crawled out of that motherfucker.
Yeah.
And that, I feel like sometimes when you're all in, that's what it can feel like when you're all in, bro. Like I'm not trying to rock a safety net. I'm just trying to be all in.
All
and
in,
do what
bro.
I'm here to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll talk about a
How does that relate to your life? Yeah.
It's crazy, man. I've been working a lot on. I think I spent a lot of time being like, oh, it's gonna come to me. Like shit's just gonna fall into my lap ish. Someone's gonna come and rescue me from this bullshit. Kind of to an extent. Like someone's gonna come and help me or whatever. Whatever that is, however it is, a label or another artist or a manager, whatever. Something's gonna come and like make this easier, and it's not gonna happen that way. That will come, but it's not gonna happen. Like you do have to fight pretty hard. You gotta churn. You gotta run, bro, hard. So I was in a place where I started doing YouTube covers like 2010. So I've been doing it for over a decade now, and I caught some traction, and some other artists at the time were like referencing my channel that ended up blowing up pretty heavy. I don't know if you know the artist Teddy Swims, right?
I've heard of Teddy Swims.
Yeah, he's incredible, bro.
Yeah.
And I got nothing but love, because we're homies. Like he's hit me before when he first came out, but like I'd do a cover, and then like a couple months later, weeks later, like he would do the cover or whatever, and like we were just like he like co-signed me. He's like, bro, I love your channel. My team loves your channel. So I started to see. I was like, all right, bro, this guy's doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And he was getting a lot of love. Like I was getting millions of hits. He was getting like 50 million hits on some shit. I was like, damn, he's great. There's no reason why he wouldn't. But a part of me is just like, damn, like why is that working out for him so much better
At
than
that level,
me?
yeah.
But then at the same time, it's just like I've inspired that, and he's inspired me. There's no competition. I'm only here with me. So, anyways, I'm chilling the other day, and I like run into him at a bar. We haven't ever officially like met in real life.
Recently, bro.
Yeah. This was like
Okay.
a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And I like roll up and I'm like, yo, bro. And he's just like, Stan Taylor. And we just ended up talking the entire night, going in, just giving each other love or whatever. And, but again, usually in my mind, I'm just like, I'm never going to be like, oh, it's so hard. You meet someone like that. It's just like, yo, like, let me go on tour with you. Like, help me. But at the same time, I was like, nah, I'm just going to be me with this homie. I'm not asking for shit or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
I don't. That's not the way I want to move this. If it works, that'll happen organically.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I
I love the way you said that.
there's
yeah.
a fine line with that though, because some people are afraid or passive. They don't even want it. Like sometimes you got to be like, hey, dude, like I want to, you know. So it's a fine line. I think being yourself and being, you know, taking initiative when it calls, bro, and it'll call on you. So I didn't do anything that night, right?
Yeah.
Just became homies.
Yeah.
Hit him. I was like, yo, let's have a session one day or whatever. We text back and forth. Never goes down. And I'm like, all right, cool. You know, we'll cross paths again. I'm not tripping. So the other night, last night, 2 nights ago, I'm out and I'm chilling at that exact same bar actually, and he's not there. But I end up talking to this dude at the bar, and he's like, what's your name? And I was like, oh, I'm Stan Taylor. He's like, oh, dude, I'm Teddy Swim's manager. And I was just like, oh shit, bro. Like he's like, I just seen Teddy here a couple days ago or whatever, and he was real cool. You know, actually give me a lot of advice. I was like, bro, like, because that was someone I feel like I could ask real questions to. I'm like, how the fuck did he crack so hard? Like, what is he working with now? Like, and he's like, oh, he's like top priority. He's got this, and I was just like, how do I get a video with him, bro? Like, because Teddy was like, yo, bro, I'll do a video with you. Let's do it. But you know, he's not fully in control of his career as much anymore.
He has
now
a team, right?
Yeah,
right.
So the manager was like, honestly, bro, he's like, I'm not even in control of that. Like, he's with the label now. He's like, you know, do the TikTok thing, blow up on TikTok, and I just was just like, damn. And he's like, honestly, bro, he's like, he's playing in Vegas Saturday night, and I'm going to the Raiders game on Sunday. And I was like, bro, I'm gonna be in Vegas, bro. Like, put me on the guest list. I'd love to come to the show. He's like, oh, I'll get you on the guest list or whatever.
Easy.
So I was like, tight. I'm gonna go to the show. So then I hit up Teddy, and I'm like, yo, I ran into your manager. And I went through a whole thing in my mind, like, what should I do? Should I just like show up? And I was like, no, I'm just gonna hit up Teddy and be like, yo, dude, I met your boy. You put me on the list. I'm excited to see you play live. Not anything else. Like nothing else. And then Teddy hits me and he's like, oh, bro, hell yeah. You want to get up on stage and sing some songs with me? And I'm just like, fuck yeah, bro. Fuck yes, I do. He's like, all right, sound check is at 3:30. So I'm going to fucking play with a couple songs with Teddy on Saturday in Vegas, bro. And I'm hyped, man, just because I manifested that shit. And I kind of stepped out of my own comfort zone and like got exactly what the fuck I wanted.
That's beautiful, man.
So it was like those moments.
But you had that awkward. I mean, I think what people could relate to is that awkwardness that comes
right?
Should I ask Everybody
for help?
can relate to that, bro.
Ask not, I think there's a phrase in the Bible or something. I might be quoting like shit, but it's like ask not, have not, or something like that. You have to.
Is this some like closed mouths don't get fed
exactly,
type shit?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah. And it's I've always struggled with that because I was like, oh, it's gonna make me look less than if I ask for help.
Yeah.
And it's just like, nah, man. If you work hard, you're just. And it's funny because I help anyone who asks me. I help anyone, but I won't do it back. So I'm starting to learn that that's something that's.
Dude, that makes all the sense in the world. I feel like, yeah, it's almost like, I don't know, what I thought of when you said that was like, it's so easy to give like your best friend relationship advice, like when they're going through something, but let it be you going through it. Like you have no idea what's going on.
Exactly, bro. It's so much like that, dude. You take your own advice, bro. I'm so good at giving it, bro, but it's hard. But when you're in those moments, you know, you don't see things the same. And,
the level of clarity ain't there.
And you know, meditation and things like that help with that, bro. So you can. Like you said today, bro, you can be more keen,
bro,
to everything.
I said this the other day, 100,000%. Like I said this the other day, when you meditate regularly, like the ROI on that shit it's almost like, I feel like, you know that intuition and instinct that we all have like on our best days, right? We're like, damn, I just knew to make this content. Bro, literally when we started this interview, I just had a feeling. I was like, no, that shit sounds a little thin. Remember the microphone was backwards on this fucking interview.
Oh yeah.
It's like that was part hearing, part intuition, bro.
Yeah, because you were hearing it through the headphones, bro. It was coming out. I was like, how the fuck is he hearing that? I couldn't even hear it from here.
When you meditate, it keeps you sharp to like get a signal or something. Does that make sense? Like I almost feel like, think of us as like antennas and like shit's broadcasting to us.
Yeah,
regularly. I really feel like that, bro.
Yes.
Like how do I know to like send this email then, or fucking reach out to that person, or go to this event then? It's like, man, come on, bro.
There is, dude.
There's something kind of guiding us, is what I want to say. And it's like the more you invest in keeping that channel clear, because I think as artists, bro, your channel.
Yes, bro.
That's what they say. Like the best things just kind of come through you.
Oh, absolutely,
you know what I'm saying?
bro.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And usually when you go into your head, the shit fucks up. That's when the shit fucks up.
It's trash.
Bro.
You're getting in the way of what
that is coming through you. Yeah.
That's absolutely, bro.
Bouncing back from like a low, bro. Like let's talk through that, because again, super relatable. Is there something you can share with us, bro, that you learned a lot? Like maybe one of you. Obviously, we all have many lows, but one of your standout lows, where you like learned a lot in it. in going through it?
I think as the artist that I am is I tie so much of my craft into love, like my personal loves. Like I wanted so much validation in this last relationship I had. So I actually started to escape my craft to like chase this validation. And when that fell apart in my face, it wasn't like
We're
a
talking about a
specific
relationship.
Yeah, this is like an ex-girlfriend.
I want to make sure I'm hearing you right. What I
Yeah.
hear is like a double whammy. Like you were kind of chasing this relationship, and it was going topsy turvy and shit.
Yeah.
And then the music shit was kind of also, you were running into some walls with the music stuff.
I
just
right? Because the music was hard. Or again, like a great example is I had a residency booked at Quincy Jones's hotel in Dubai, March 2020. That was right when the pandemic happened.
Shit, when the pandemic.
So we were gonna get paid. I was gonna go out. We were gonna do it, and I knew it
what
was
a great experience. I feel
but an
like,
incredible
right?
experience, bro. And I was super hyped. Things were going decent with my girl at the time, and that shit just fell through. And that was a pandemic thing, but that combined with the already shitty struggles of that, I just stopped giving a fuck about my craft at all. Like I stopped doing videos. I didn't even care about social media. It was like I just need to get validation from this person. And now that I've gotten out of it, it wouldn't have mattered who she was. It was just something that wasn't music, and I was tired of that.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, fuck it, I'm just gonna fall in love. But then putting that negative energy into trying to get that only made that entire year and a half just hell. I've hit some pretty heavy walls with like depression and substance abuse and things like that, to where when you're hurting and then you go down that hole and you isolate yourself, it's a fucking scary place to be
when
at,
my
bro.
I was at Interscope and I was like in music management for like 12 years or something. When that shit ended, bro, like there were nights I just didn't want to be here anymore, bro.
Yes.
I'm like, what am I even here for? Yeah.
And everyone goes through that shit, bro.
Yeah.
And I was like getting off on it a little bit. I was like, yo, like once you start talking about it, like to people, and like, which is a good thing ultimately. You're actually, there was ways I was like crying out for help, but at the same time, it was like you don't got the balls to do that. And not even with myself, it was just like, bro, like you're just like, how long you want to feel like this, And for a while you're hurting, but then you get to a place where it's like, how long you want to hurt like this, bro? Like, try to look around, look up at something else, dude. Like, yeah, this girl doesn't like you, and you lost that whole thing. Your whole image of that life's done. This shit didn't work out musically. You're still fucking you. You still have control of your body. You still have control of your mind. Why are you going so hard? Your family loves you. People, you're letting yourself down, and like, for anyone out there,
you needed to be validated though, bro.
I
right?
needed to be but then I had to find the
you
validation from myself, bro, and that took some dark nights, and it took a slow,
it's like swimming across an ocean at night, bro. That's what it feels like to get to the self-validation, right?
Yeah, bro.
But when you get there, that shit is so much more sustainable.
Yeah, bro. I found it
right?
now. So
tell.
now my heart still hurts, bro, all the time. But I honestly got to my tipping point with my validation there. So now I'll never hit that far. I mean, I'll go low, but I'll never hit that far low again, because I found I love myself,
Bro,
I love
that's
myself.
beautely. Congratulations on that, man.
Yeah,
That's
honestly,
amazing.
it's a huge feat, bro.
Let's
I'm stoked
go.
about it.
When you build a home in someone else, they have the power to make you homeless.
Your boy was out on the streets, bro. Your boy was homeless.
Yeah,
I was
you
hungry,
were homeless, bro.
Your boy was a stray dog. For a while, bro.
Under the overpass you were, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
I was chilling. You saw me, bro.
I know.
But yeah.
But yeah, that's now on the other side of that, bro. Just I could tell that there's a piece about you, dude. I just want to acknowledge that. Even the short time we've known each other, I could sense your like inner like leveling up.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel? Obviously, you feel that in the last 10 months, right?
You caught me literally each time, and
crazy.
I was, and I mean this respectfully because I do this quite a bit. I was using your energy because I needed it. And I remember like when I met you, I was like, all right, this guy's on a fucking grind, and his vibrations are a little higher than mine, even if it was just in that day.
Yeah.
And then I started, and then like
you just caught me on the right day, bro. Sometimes.
But I love this shit, bro.
Yeah.
Like I love like watching podcasts and seeing people. We are rapping, bro. This is actually these are bars.
We're making a song, bro. I feel like a good conversation is a song to me.
Yes, man. Know? And now that I've become obsessed with these type of things, it's just like I've been looking forward to this shit since you hit me the other week. But I went and kicked it with you because I do that with certain people. I have people in my crew, like we don't hang out every day, but I see you, and I fucking you need those pillars in your life, those people, and you're not in the exact same field as me, but it's the same shit.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I love it.
It's
you know?
relatable enough.
Yeah.
I feel like we're soldiers out there, kind of like
Yeah, bro.
doing our thing.
Absolutely.
Call it like iron sharpening iron, bro. You know, every time we link, I draw strength from that, bro. I feel like, yeah, cool, like fuck yeah, like I'm on the right path or something.
I'm in the right place. That was a good vibe, you know.
Yeah.
Always, every time.
Yeah, definitely, bro, definitely. You got to be adaptable, right? We said that earlier.
Absolutely.
So like the goalposts changing, not freaking you out. How are you with that these days? Like if your album gets delayed or if a show, are you doing better? You're doing better with that these days, yeah?
I'm at a place now where I spend a lot of time in my studio getting really, really, really experimental and really, really weird with music.
Okay.
But like for some reason that's become a part of my routine and my habit now. So I wake up and I've been doing it. I had to trick myself because we have to figure out a way to put out consistent content, right? And that's not always fun. It's not.
My dude. It's
You
like,
know how the
seriously,
fuck
I
it
was
is.
just saying, some of these Reels videos that we put out, 40,000, 50,000, and then you put out another one's 300 or 400. And it's like, how do you mentally go through that all the time, right?
You just go. You just go,
Yeah.
bro. And like, I had the same shit, bro. I got one that like 200K. Yeah. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. The next one, literally 200. I'm like,
200 views.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
no one
yeah.
fucks with me anymore. But I told myself, you know, every day, however I feel, that's just a part of my morning routine. And it covers everything I want. I want to practice piano a little bit. I
Yeah.
want to practice recording a little bit. So I just make a 30 to a minute concept song idea. And then I make the song. You know, it takes about an hour, two, maybe, depending on how creative I feel, or if I'm just letting it come through me, which I love, and like what
That's
we were talking about,
yeah.
where I am just basically a vessel, and it's kind of being given to me, and I just kind of just put it out there. It's so fun, it's so cool, and time will go by so quickly, right? And then if it's a bad day and it's shit, I still got that idea out, and now that's out of me. You know, you got to keep it up, and then I shoot a little video.
Yeah.
And again, I'm doing something that takes about 4 to 5 hours. And, you know, it gets, some of them go, some of them don't. And for the longest time, I would just do the cell phone shit where I put the cell phone up and I do a little cover. Those get way more love.
Yeah.
But I'm not doing as much work. I'm not going to have that discipline and that confidence of being an artist by you know, sitting here and playing the chorus of, you know, Sweet Home Alabama to get a million hits on some shit. And just that takes 10 seconds. No, dude, I want to get, and then you start to just like, I'm just getting better, but I had to trick myself, and it took me, dude, I'm 30.
You just said something right there, though.
fucked me
I'm
up.
getting better at your craft.
Yeah.
It's almost like I have to look at it like the craft is wifey, and the results are like the mistress that's like trying to lure you
Yeah.
away from what. Like, no, bro. Like, seriously.
Yes.
The craft needs to be wifey because, like you said, you can always celebrate that, and you're in control of that.
Yes. You always are in
You're
control
not
of that.
in control of the results, bro.
You're not. And I'm not in
You
control
know?
of if my shit gets delayed. I'm not in
Yeah.
control. But if I feel good that I made something, and then even if, and what I'm lucky with is I do have a following. So every time I do some shit, bro, someone, if I needed it, like some people, like they post, they don't even get comments or anything. Like people will DM me and be like, that song made my fucking day. And like,
that's
I get that all the time. And sometimes I just like brush those off, and it's just like, I've been really trying to like read that shit and the bad ones too, but I don't really get that many bad ones. So I'm like, dude, like quit being a little baby, bro, and just share your gift, bro.
Yeah. Ooh.
You know, share your shit, bro. And don't expect anything in return. You know,
feel
just
that.
do it.
I
And
feel that.
I feel better when I do that.
That's beautifully said. There's something else I want to like trade notes with you on, just because like you've been doing the artist thing forever and putting yourself out there. Now for the second time, somebody's come up and recognized me, and I never met them before, bro.
Woo!
They're like, bro,
Let's go.
It was
You
kind
inspired.
of wild, bro. They're like, dude, thank you so much for what you do. This kid was like, you know, freshly out of like music business school and all that, like in his 20s, and he's like, man, you just, you know, I really appreciate it. And so my whole thing is, it was trippy though. The energy exchange is trippy because all right, they know about you. You've kind of touched their souls in some kind of way, but you know nothing about them. Is that trippy for you? Because I feel I'm asking because you've been at this thing longer, putting yourself
Yeah.
out there, right? Like, what is
It
that
depends.
like?
It depends on the type of fan. You know, there's some people that are like, not creepy, but just like, bro, I love your shit, dude. Like, and they're like I remember when I was
shaking you?
Yeah, and I'm like, they get a little too close, or they don't understand like personal boundaries, and it's just like, I'm glad you appreciate it, bro. Back the fuck up, or whatever. Or women, women, it's a trip too. Sometimes you just, but at the end of the day, the way I try to look at it is, they obviously are catching your wave. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well said.
So I love when someone just like, I really appreciate what you do, bro. Like, you've inspired me, and they give me a dab and they go about their shit. That's my favorite. For the longest time, I wasn't used to it. So I'm just like gassing them up. I'm like, oh, dude, let me check out your music. We should have a session. I just doing too much.
You started out doing that, right?
Yeah, and then I realized, oh, if you do that, you gotta be careful, like,
okay,
because I was just a nice guy.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you become like that just fucking fake person. I also there's a realness that I want to be like, and that's where I do that to artists that I like. When I ran into Teddy, I wasn't like, bro, like we should collaborate. I was like, yo, I just love what you're doing. I wanted to feel what their vibrations felt like, because they're at a level where I want to be. And I was like, oh shit, it's not far off from where I'm at. And like it centered me, bro. It felt so good. There's a reason why I ran into it when I felt that. Because the younger me would have been like, oh, hi. And I felt right there. And I think that was what the universe was, God, whatever was trying to show me. It's like, everything's right here, bro. And I didn't press them.
You're closer than you think
so
to maybe
much
that
closer.
next tier of what you're trying to do, right? I have a co-host who sometimes joins me, and she's like, people like you're mentioning, they've unlocked something, and I want to figure out what they've unlocked.
Exactly. So it's good to see. It's good to feel that. And it's good to be like, oh,
Because I've noticed myself, bro, I've you have to be the engine at first, right, to what you do. But then it's like bringing more people in the fold and what you do, collaborating and that type of thing, right? That's been a process, bro, for me to get there. You as well?
Oh, yeah, bro. Because you have to get to a certain level where you don't have bad collaborations. And you're always going to have, tension or whatever with certain things. But there was a time where I was collaborating with everyone. Some of them were bad. I didn't even know where I was at. So I think when you get to a certain level, the right people you're supposed to collaborate with will be there, because you've leveled up. I can't even make friends anymore that aren't cool.
Wow.
Seriously, because I can sniff the shit out. I'm like,
all right. So we talked. I'm so happy you said this, bro, because last time we kicked it, there's an immense opportunity living in Los Angeles just for the people you meet. There's serendipitous moments can happen all the freaking time here, right? There's also a lot of like fuckboy energy in LA,
yeah,
right?
Bro.
Like,
yeah, it's hard, man. It's hard.
Are you with me, Chris? Okay.
Good
cool,
people
Chris.
too. The people are just self-centered and flaky because they got too much on their plate, or they want to work one day but they actually don't really want to work. And it's fucking hard to find real ones, bro. It is. Some people could become really good chameleons, man. Some people really fucking do. And like I for a while I had to battle that with myself, because I was becoming that. I was like, oh, I could fucking finesse a lot and manipulate a lot of people to get what I want. But then shit will come back around to you, and not even in a mean way. Just like in my mind, I was justifying certain things where I thought it was fair what I was doing.
When you do that, though, I thought about that. You ever have that like piece of food in the fridge that you feel like might be past its point? But I'm gonna take a chance right now.
Yeah. This chicken's probably still good.
And make you sick. I feel like when you have that feeling of I shouldn't really be finessing, but maybe I'll finesse. It'll come back. Bro.
It always
it's
comes
like
back.
Energetically, that shit will come back.
You can't get away with shit, bro. Someone's always watching, bro. You can't sneak shit from anything.
I
bro.
believe that.
It's not easy though to be a good person all the time, especially when people are pieces of shit.
That's
when you got a fuckboy and you get fucked over and someone plays you, you're like, all right, fuck that, and
that's
you gotta have grace, bro. You gotta be able to forgive those moments. If they're going through that shit, then God bless, and I'll figure my shit out from here.
I've been like Ethan Hawked in Training Day a couple of times, bro.
Oh shit, yeah, bro.
In situations, but I feel.
Oh man.
But I feel like that shit. I'm always like eventually, and sometimes that shit takes a long time. I'm grateful for it on the other side, bro, because I feel like it's chiseled me. You're wiser. Your instincts are better, and like you said, like you keep your circle pretty tight. And I've learned that I've shared this before, but it's like we're sharing it because again, like I know a lot of people coming up in music listen to this podcast, and it's like. I used to just partner with people based on their resume, period, end of discussion. I'm like, oh, shit, you helped break 2 Chainz. Oh, shit, like, I want to rock with you.
Yeah.
Didn't matter if you were a good person or if you were, what I'm trying to say, trustworthy or whatever.
Yes.
Did you fall into that as well?
All day, bro. I was a cloud chaser for a minute, bro. I was just like, you got this. I want to be where you are. Those are young mistakes, I think, that
well said.
That you have to go through. And, my first three record deals were all terrifying, bro. Like just horrible. Luckily, I was able to get out of all of them, but shiesty, bro. All bad. Bad energy. But those were the only options I had at the same time too.
And those deals made you who you are today, though. Wouldn't you say for sure? Stan?
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yes. And it got me to a point where I became very self-sufficient. I think those L's and they make you, like you said, it was either drown or swim. Sink or swim.
Yeah.
So I was able to kind of swim through, and sometimes I was just wading in the water trying to not fucking kill myself or cry too much. I was like, yo, just figure out how to get back on your shit. And I think those lessons are really important. The when for me is gone. It's not a matter of like when, like when's it gonna happen? Why hasn't it happened? It's happening.
What advice would you give to your 18-year-old self?
My 18-year-old self, man.
And back to the picture, bro. Funny enough, you talked about the younger
little
you.
kid.
Yeah,
the younger me,
yeah.
I would say, I would just press patience, bro. Patience on this. Your gift isn't enough. Your natural talent is not enough.
Yeah.
I'd say start to love your routine, love working at music. Immerse yourself in this craft and love it. I'm so grateful that I already love it. And if you don't have something that, just advice for people that are searching right now, like I'm so lucky to have something that we love. We're so lucky to have something that we love. That shit's hard. What if I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do?
Some of the most sad, like depressed, people that I know personally are figuring out what they want to do with their life. Yeah.
What's the purpose?
Yes. Why are you here?
Yeah. And, I think we're lucky because we have something that's like a craft that we can utilize to, I think the purpose ultimately of life is to serve, like be of service to people, like how can I uplift other people while doing something that I love and being challenged in that. I'm fucking lucky that I have music to do that with, bro. And there's an audience there. You have this podcast to do it with. And again, even if you don't know what you're doing, read a little bit and talk to your friends. Podcasts are the shit, bro. Like everyone should have one. I want to hear how someone else says what I'm saying.
Yes.
Because there's people
that
are like
relatability. And,
there's like so many podcasts where it's just like people are like, oh, everyone's just saying the same shit. But the way he said it or she said it might connect with me in a way that I need. So don't not say it.
You can't be like a rapper and be like, oh, there's already, everybody's rapping. Wait, because at the end of the day, Future, Rick Ross, like Drake, they're all rapping about the same shit. Isn't that crazy? They're all rapping about girls, partying, and money. But why are they all super successful?
Yeah.
Because their unique perspective, bro.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? And that's
something.
what you're saying and what you're saying about podcasts and this and that.
Anything you want to do, your viewpoint matters.
That's right. There's plenty of, Future's successful. There's people that hate Future.
Yes. But
the people that love Future really fuck with Future.
Yes.
So that's what we got to be about. Yeah. On that note, bro, let's bring that home. Thank you so much,
bro. I'm so honored, man. This is my first thing like this, bro. And I wouldn't want to get my cherry pop by anyone else.
Amazing. Yo, we did it. All right, where can the listeners connect with you?
Stan Taylor on all social medias. I check out my YouTube channel, my Instagram. I do have 2 projects coming out at the end of this year. I'm working on an EP right now. That should be coming out like the next month. But yeah, just look up Stan Taylor on all social medias. I'm on Spotify. I'm on everything. You can just find your boy.
Go connect with a real one, everybody.
Hey.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys for coming back and tuning in. We'll see you next episode.
My
Peace.
boy.
Thank you.